Hello Geo Space, and welcome to this week's agenda video. It is for September the 28th, 2020. If you are missing work, then you need to turn in your work as soon as you can. The longer you wait, the less credit you will receive, though it should be noted that I will accept all late work. And so you can use these agenda videos as resources from previous weeks. You can email me or message me on Teams, but in some way, figure out what you must do and do it. Turned in. All right, be checking your grades and be staying up to date. The further we go into material, the more things we do, the harder it is to crawl out of the hole. And so if you have not already started turning in missing work, do so now. Definitely make it a priority. This week, we're moving further into stars. Okay, and so I'm going to jump right into it. Here's the post. We're still in the same learning target. Looking at different universe phenomena or things, real things that exist in the universe. We're going to play a little Kahoot as a reminder from last week about stars and their classification. We'll look at a couple of videos in our synchronous session. And then I will introduce this Stellar Evolution comic strip story. And so this is going to be what most of our time is spent this week on. It is essentially a combination of a creative writing story from a star's perspective and a comic strip, because you're going to be drawing but also writing captions. Okay, and so you're going to describe, identify, and order the possible stages and formation of a star during its life cycle. And the way you're going to do it is using information from our stars lecture, which I will post for reference, as well as you have to choose a star. Okay, and so you're going to take that information and your choice of star, and you're going to create a comic strip about its life cycle from its perspective. Okay, and so your first step is to choose a star, a real star that exists, and there is a list at the bottom of this document right here. This document is a copy for you, and so you can write on it. You will end up taking a picture of your comic strip and adding it to this document in order to get credit. But here is the list of stars. When you pick a star, you will have to determine whether or not it is average or massive. Okay, and so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Let's take Vega as a example. Okay, you will write that word into Google, that star. You will then go to the Wikipedia for that star, and this is where you get information. Plenty of statistics on the star that you choose, right? You have some information about where it is, like the constellation. You have its magnitude, right? Its brightness. You have its evolutionary stage, which is it's currently a main sequence star, which is pretty neat. What you're looking for to determine if it is a massive or a average star is its mass. Okay, and this is where the mass is written down. Now the mass of a star is measured in solar masses. We, as humans, base everything off of what we know, and so we give the sun a 1 solar mass, and we base everything else off of that. And so from the lecture, from what you learned last week, we know that an average star, right, the sun is an average star. In order for a star to be massive, it has to be 8 times at least bigger than the sun. And so Vega is only 2.13. And you're just looking at this number. This plus or minus down here, I know it's small, but is uncertainty. It's plus or minus 0.074. So this is really a range, right? We don't know exactly its mass, but we know it's really close to 2.135. And so this star, because it's not greater than 8, is going to be an average star, which means that it'll end its life as a white dwarf and then a black dwarf. If it was bigger than 8, if you choose a big star, then it will go supernova and something else crazy will happen. Okay, and so you'll take that information and probably highlight here if it's average or massive for your information. And then you will make a comic strip based on its life cycle. Okay, and so You need 7 stages of your star. You need a hand-drawn image per stage. You need a title per stage. And then you need a description for each stage. Okay, and so you have to answer these throughout the comic strip. And each panel should probably have some writing on it, but there's some creativity that can occur within that. But this is exactly how you will be graded. Okay, a template is given to you, so if you do have a printer, you could print a comic strip template off. I should also note that you could also just make boxes on a blank sheet of paper. You don't necessarily need a printer for this to be successful. You can just make 7 different boxes on your paper and start drawing your comic that way. But this is your template. Okay, this is one example. If you want to do it freehand another way, you can. Again, there's room for creativity here. I will show an example of this in class and maybe post one later for those that are missing. But to close out here for time's sake, again, you're choosing a star, you're determining its mass, average or massive, and then you're using this resource from last week to determine its stages, right? And so either way, you have 7 stages that you have to draw about. 1, nebula. 2, protostar. 3, main sequence. 4 is where it gets a little different, right? You're either a red giant or super red giant. 5, 6, and 7. Or you're doing supernova, you're doing red giant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Questions can be relayed to me either in class or afterward. But this, again, will be done in class. This video, as usual, is for people who maybe missed it, don't know. Okay? And so if you need help with anything, if you have questions about anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. But otherwise, I will see you guys in class.